Okay, so hi Kate.
Hi Lizzie. So we're gonna very shortly, briefly talk about our statements and thesis. Okay,
You start.
I'll start. So hi, I'm Pro, and I think Nazis were the only one who was responsible for the Holocaust. What about you, Lizzie?
And I think the opposite, which is Nazis weren't the only ones responsible, but there were other people involved in the Holocaust that they should be responsible for that actions. So do you want to start first? Yes,
Okay. I'll start first. So why I believe Nazi was only responsible was I think they were the only one who carried out the actions with the guns, right? So that it's not the others who actually was involved in the accident of killing or eliminating Jews. It was the only Nazi people who was eliminating Jews.
It wasn't an accident, but well, yeah, that's true. Like, so I agree with that because I think that they're part of the responsibility, but they're not the whole. So, but the Allies could have stood up to stop Hitler in the beginning, so that they could prevent Holocaust in the beginning. So, I think Allies should take responsibility as well as the Nazis.
But how would they have known that Hitler was anti-Semitism person?
When he first came into power, or when he first pushed his ideas, he announced that he had a lot of ideas, and that included anti-Semitism, which clearly stated that he did not like the Jews, and his theory of Aryans really showed that he really discriminated people against race and religion.
But that time he was just in a phase of growing the power, not the whole growth of the power. And isn't it that Holocaust began when the World War II was starting, not before? Allies didn't expect that Hitler would kill them before the World War II. How would they know?
Wait, what do you mean? How do you? No, if he says, okay, first of all, the Holocaust really started with the Night of Broken Glass, where one Jew he shot a Nazi man because they took his father away to Poland, right? So then that's out of anger, right? That's how the Nazis started, and that's and in response to that, Hitler killed dozens of many Nazis, and you don't think that would have warned Allies in the beginning? Like that would have totally that should have ringed an alarm in the Allies' brain.
However, if you think in the Nazi's point of view, yes, you said that there was this Jew who killed a Nazi person because Nazi person took his father. But did that Nazi person kill the father of that person? No.
Well,
are you sure?
They took him without asking him. That's like same thing as like getting, and they were never gonna see each other again because the son is dead now. Like he has nothing to do now. So,
however, he also murdered this Nazi person. Isn't there a reasonable reason for a Nazi to be angry at Jews too?
Yeah, but in response to that, the Nazis killed dozens. That's a lot compared to one single soldier. He could have just put in imprisonment, not impact other Jews around, especially the Jews.
Okay, so it's true. It's a fact that Hitler killed a lot of Jews, but I cannot understand how Allies could reach until the Hitler's power. Weren't they also fear of it?
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry for cutting
No,
you
it's
off.
okay.
So Hitler, he slowly began. Well, he later rapidly began to earn power, but you could see that he was approaching fast, right? And the Allies, the Allies noticed it too. Remember when Miss Rose said Hitler took. He broke the Treaty of Versailles by going to the blocked area, and they just let him go because they thought they were poor and damaged from World War I, right? But they just let it go like that. And if they had just stopped Hitler from then the whole Holocaust would have been not it wouldn't have occurred.
So just always thought that it wasn't their duty to probably protect the Jews.
But they have Jews in their own country, so why would it be not their responsibility to protect them?
But then also after the World War I, there was lots of anti-Semitism that rose, and then many people actually hated Jews.
Yeah, but Allies should have gone into that and stopped it before it became bigger. That's why they should take responsibility for this Holocaust.
But then Allies might think that, hey, we are just majority and they're the only minority, and we wouldn't really take care of that.
The majority should care for the minority so that they could grow. Like in MUN, the most developed countries, they help least developed countries to help them grow. So they should interfere, even though, yeah, because it helps them.
But isn't it there's a really cruel realization because they're really busy with their own duties. They don't have really a time to interfere. So for instance, America was having like Great Depression and like they're now about to go into the war and Pearl Harbor was attacked. They had lots of incidents that they were actually busy with. How would they have a time to take care of Jews?
Well, if they stopped Hitler in the beginning, then they would have stopped the whole war. There wouldn't be the incident of Pearl Harbor or anything like that. Like, if they had just blocked Hitler from the beginning, then there wouldn't be any Holocaust. Like, even though they were busy, if they had time, then they would have attacked. And I think they should have. Yes.
Yes, but they should have done that if they're humane or something like that. But the problem is they're so busy with their own duties, so that Jews wasn't their matter with them. So, and also, it's important that Germany had so much great power, so that they couldn't even go into the German land to rescue the Jew, because the Holocaust was only occurring within the Germany, not the other Allied countries.
Yeah, but do you think killing 6 million people is not their duty? You said it yourself. I said it myself that majority should take care of minority, and in Germany they were killing 6 million people just because they were part of Jews. So I don't think that's really fair.
However, it's important that it was during the war. So if the war and Holocaust wasn't occurring in the same era, maybe they might have time to help it. But then it's a war. How would you able to go into the German war? Then there were armies and their troops. Their lives might die.
Well, they could have sent their troops that they made to Germany to stop the Holocaust, but instead they ignored the choice and just went on protecting themselves instead of the innocent Jews that were killed because of their religion.
So you mean so that Allies' army should be also sacrificed for saving the Jews? It's obvious.
I'm sorry for cutting you again, but
no.
Russia also sacrificed millions of men for Britain and USA because they didn't open the second front. So I mean, like, sacrifices are necessary in like saving the whole world. I mean, yeah. So I think Allies really are like a big part of this responsibility for the Holocaust.
But then it's hard for Allies to actually save the Jews for Germany because weren't they really hating each other? So you said that Russia actually helped Britain and like other allies, right? But then it's because they wanted to win the war soon, and also Russia was later allied with the Allies. So it's their side, so it's easy to actually help each other. But then it's hard to help the German when you're in the war and you hate this country, whole country.
You only hate the Nazis. You don't hate the whole German. Like the Jew, I'm sure. Okay, if Nazis hate Jews, then why would Jews love them back, right? So they're not the same people. They have the right to protect the Jews because they don't like Nazis back.
However, lots of the majority of the Nazi power was in the Germany. So that it's hard to protect the Jews from the Germans. I mean the Nazi people who are a lot of like superior than, I mean not superior, but I mean more powerful than the Jews. So isn't it hard to keep them away from the Nazis? They're already in the same country. So how would allies go in? And won't they? It's like kind of questionable. Would you like to sacrifice your armies, or would you just leave the Jews away?
I will sacrifice my army, of course. I mean, like, come on, like, it's better than it's better than like killing 6 million people, like with miserable death, than just not doing anything at all. The Allies should have at least done something to rescue the Jews, or like save them from getting all the bad things from Hitler.
Yeah, so you said that they need to save the Jews, right? But actually, in a way, they're saving the Jews in their country, aren't they? Because you mentioned that before that there are lots of Jews also living in the Allied sides too, right? But
Yeah, but
they're safe.
I'm sorry, but the Allies were affected by the fascism. They went against the fascism. So why would the Jews and the Allies be threatened by this? They wouldn't be like um, they wouldn't be exposed to this.
Yeah, but then war should be like inhumane and war is always cruel. If there is one like like a good beneficial action that's shown to that country might give you something good too, but then they might see the chance to actually attack on them. So if allies actually come into Germany and say, hey, I think you should let your Holocaust people like Jews should be away. But won't German be persuaded to that? I don't think so.
That's what I'm saying. Like they should have done military actions on Germany to stop them.
So do you think you are the one of the president of let's say that you are the American president and you decided to send the Jews send your troops to save the Jews, but it's your citizens. It's the armies are also your citizens, and you said that lots of Jews were actually dead because of a mass elimination of the Jews due to the Holocaust. But then, if their troops also go, won't they be also massively attacked and massively dead?
So you're saying that the death of 6 million people is not much than the troops dying to try to save them.
But if you were in the American like president with some kind of president's viewpoint, wouldn't you think your troops and your citizens are more valuable than the Jews actually in the German?
It's his job to like help the international society that he lives in. Like the troops were made to sacrifice for their own country. So then why can't they sacrifice themselves to save another country's lives? That's like that costs a lot of population. So allies could have really like, if the allies had done something like a little bit, then they could have just saved a whole lot of lives, like 6 million lives that were dead, that were costed by this event.
But then that a little action was hard to get in. So there's like a way to get into the German, but it's Germany, so German people know their German reasons better. So even though US and other allies tried to help, it was hard to get in through the Germany. Remember when they were surrounding the Germany, it was really hard, and you said, and it was a close match. So even though you are going to help, it's kind of the result will be very tragic too. And you don't know like exact where's the location of this Jews concentration camp, and you don't know if there are like more armies in those concentration camps and guards who are gonna also kill your armies too. Then your armies will be sacrificed and there will be more death rates, isn't it?
But there was communication, like radio like how like they decoded the Japanese like messages. They could have done the same thing to find out the extermination camps and plan specifically so that they could plan a plan that would not cost much lives but still save the Jews.
But would you think decoding those passwords and like locations would be easy to do? It's still
They did it
located
easily
in
with
Germany.
Japan.
Probably.
Sorry.
No. It's okay. Probably Japan is isolated, and then, but then Germany is like a whole power of the whole military base, and yeah, great.
Good
Thank you.
conversation.